Today we wanted to talk about managing, showing, and running effective open house as a real estate agent professional.
Now, homes that have more showings are going to sell faster than homes that don't, right? And they're going to sell for better price. So you want to make sure that we're getting foot traffic into the homes when you're selling a home to make sure that the interest level is there so you will have a successful sale. So managing your showings and your open houses effectively is really going to help in the home selling process. If you don't have a home to sell, you can ask people to actually run an open house. That might actually work. So here's what we're going to talk about and how do you master it.
Exactly. Therefore, before anything else, we wanted to talk about importance of the showing open houses. Of course, this is another opportunity, not only online, but in person for those people that they want to see the best feature of that house that you already put in the market. And they are the moment that is authentic moments that many people that even they don't have a real estate agent without any push, any pressure, they just come to see this house in the best of its light. And that's why it's super important that the house in that day to be in the top condition means you already talked to your home seller about decluttering, staging, and make sure everything depersonalized in the house. And when people they come, they're welcome and they have a space to flow easily through the house and see all the house in a really very quick.
The other thing we need to talk about with that is really interacting with the buyer. Now, interacting with the buyer is a process. It's about finding the balance between being informative without being pushy, but giving them, so you have to give them space. So as a real estate professional, really by giving people space, you are allowing more constructive construction and feedback, and you can also feel them out. Are they lookers? Are they actually more serious? Why are they here? What is their possibility that they're going to buy a home? Before we're talking about more things like preparing, we need to do our introduction. Let's hit it.
This is Alan Victoria from Wolfpack, and here we love you to connect with you through our website agentwolfsparole.com, and also what else that we can offer?
We would love for you to join us at eXp Realty.
Exactly.
We are part of the Agent Wolves. You got our entire upline, and of course you get us and everything that we offer to our people as well. So it's really such an amazing opportunity. We have been super happy we joined eXp since the beginning, and we are still happy and we are here.
Therefore, now we wanted to talk, as my wife said, preparing now your house or your listing for open house and showing the houses. Therefore, before the open house that opens the door to any home buyers is vital, and it's very important that we have the house in the best possible condition. Therefore, we really need to have a communication with the home seller that a night before, at least when they wanted to leave the house for that 2 hours, to keep them informed that we need the house to be clean, at least a vacuum clean, make sure the carpet doesn't have any stain on it, and also everything that they are not using, if they have kids or not have kids, is stored away, and the house is really depersonalized and decluttered. And also we wanted to do, as a real estate agent, also due diligence for preparing social media content for that open house.
Well, we're going to get there. So make sure also that house has been, if there were major problems like leaky faucets, patching the holes, even if you, after you took pictures but before you invite buyers in, make sure that these things are fixed as much as possible, because foot traffic is what sells these homes. People need to see the home in order to like the home, and you don't want them not buying a home because of a really simple thing. So now we're going to talk about scheduling open houses, and of course the video that my husband was jumping right to talk about. He was so excited. So with the timelines, be flexible. Allow buyers to come in at whatever they could. Maybe you want to have the home at off-peak hours, evenings, weekends. Have your sellers be okay with vacating the home during times that might be uncomfortable. For instance, we have a home seller right now. They have to leave their house at 8 o'clock at night in order to actually, which is a little hard for them. They're older, but they want to sell their house, so they're going to do it. So you just make sure your sellers are aware that timing has to be flexible.
Exactly. And make sure that, for example, if you are running the open house on the weekend, you don't hit any major kind of Super Bowl game or in that nature, any baseball or football or basketball that people are interested in and they wanted to watch, and you get higher traffic than usual.
Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is technology, right? So when we're there, I'm also doing these days, I am doing Facebook Live, I am doing YouTube Live, I am live streaming open houses to actually answer questions online as well, because the people online might not be ready to buy that specific house, but it shows you that I am out there in the world and I can help somebody when they are ready, or maybe they really are looking for a home, and that is one of the things that they talked about. So
And
that's
also,
another thing.
and also my wife, beside of that, is doing some studying that how you can, from your MLS, local MLS, you can send all the emails to all the real estate agent in your area, in the market that you're working, that make them informed, that brings their buyers for the open house. At the same time, we are part of the EXP Realty. We need also to not only connect to the local market with all the EXP Realty in that area, that they can also promote the listing for the open houses.
So another thing that I'm going to be honest about, because we were so far into a market before where everything sold like pancakes, it's a little bit more slower now, so we have to be more prepared. So when you go to these open houses, be prepared to give people spec sheets on the home, printouts on the home details, the home upgrades, the amenities in this home, and be answering any questions and give them a handout. That way they have something to read, they'll remember who to contact about the home they just saw.
Exactly. And then the next thing that is super important, also the feedback collection. Therefore, definitely part of the EXP using our KV Core for the CRM. We set up the KV Core mobile day of the open house and make sure that we have a signing sheet, but digitally through our KV Core to everybody registered, because what is important after that, you can really call them and ask them for feedback and see if what is their idea is about the house, and also you can connect with them and see if they're showing any interest for moving on with the process.
Okay, so making sure you continue the line of communication is going to help you sell more homes or buy more homes for other people. So you want to make sure that you are forward in their mind and they're going to answer quick questions. Another thing, now let's talk about what I was talking about before, virtual tours. Here's something else with NAR people don't mention. Virtual tours, if they are live, have to have a buyer agency agreement. If they are not live, they do not have to have a buyer agency agreement. So this is a if the buyer's on the phone with you and you're showing them the house FaceTime, you have to have a buyer agency in place with the NAR. If you are sending a video tour later in the day and you did it yourself and you are walking by yourself, it is not that, there is kind of a loophole for these virtual tours. And I can see virtual tours being a little bit more disruptive in the future, so you can still show a home to a potential buyer and say, hey, I'm happy to do a virtual tour for you. I'll send it to you after. We can't be live because, the buyer agency agreement, but if you do want a buyer agency agreement, we're happy to talk about it. I'm sure you can find a nicer way to say it than I just did, because it is just an idea that's popping up in my head as I say it. So I'm telling you, there's a better way to communicate what I just said. Another thing to talk about is communication. If they are live on the phone, how are you going to do that on your phone? With phone, email, messaging, how can you get all of this information to the person?
Can you enlighten us?
Well,
about
if they
that?
are on the phone, you can have open lines of communication. You do have a buyer. You must have a buyer agency in place if they are on the phone with you. So just make sure you are there as well. And also, want to talk about the home. And if it is a smart home, we have to make sure that people know that there's a smart home there.
Exactly.
So make sure if you are showing a home or you're running an open house, the sellers might know everything that's happening in the seller's house because they're listening the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've actually had when I was a buyer's agent, I had a seller on the phone with me because they were mad at me because they talked to me through their remote, their camera before my clients got there, because I went around the house and I turned on all the lights of the house. And then I went downstairs and met my clients, and she talked to me like, I don't turn all my lights on in my house. Can you not turn all my lights on? And I said, no, I need to turn all these lights on because I want the client to see everything. I will turn them all off when she leaves. My client saw the house, bought the house. So she bought the house. I turned up on. She ended up writing the offer that she won. But that seller was a little on the phone with me like, why are you turning all my lights on? I was like, ma'am, I don't know who you are. Nice to meet you. But I want to sell your house, so I need to turn these lights on right now. So you
Exactly.
have to make sure with this technology, you are still professional. I took my shoes off. I communicated effectively like, hey, light sells homes. I need to show your house in the best light.
And also, what my wife recently does it in the open house, that because she talked about the virtual tour. Not when you go on live, like on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, you can also
Insta.
be or an Insta. You can do also virtual tour of the homes when you are going live. Therefore, this is another way to lively show the houses, because you don't know when you put those pictures the house has the same condition or cleanness when you do the open house. This is another way to showcase the house that you are listing. And beside of that, you're talking about different things about home buying and home selling. You can also do a quick virtual tour in that live and showcase the property that you're listing for.
So we are so excited to talk to you about selling homes, showing homes. We have so much to talk about. We'll come back and give more
This
information.
is for our real estate agent.
We're so excited. Please join us at Agent Wolves. We are part of EXP. We would love to have you as part of our EXP family. And picking us as a sponsor means that we can have one-on-one communications with you regularly to talk about your business goals, and how we can help foster. And plus, you get our entire upline. You get Mike Sherrard, you get Connor Steinbrook, you get everything from our upline as well. So I would highly recommend joining Agent Wolves, joining the Wolf Pack with us, Alan Victoria.
And don't forget to subscribe and watch all of our videos and playlists. We love to have